and many a home for the drivers as well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wednesday night, of course, is back for the WXL in the league that simply does it like no other, is ready for the place that births itself as the home of motorsport. Here in Britain, Northamptonshire, we have a brilliant day in prospect. My name, of course, is the voice of WXL. My name is T10 Nuthead. Alongside me, as per usual, is the man, the myth, that, well, it's partly his home Grand Prix as well. Tom, aka Scar. Tom, pleasure to have you here as always, and another exciting Grand Prix in a league that, like I said, simply doesn't do it like any other.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to be alongside you again. Silverstone is just a legendary circuit. It's legendary corners as well. Cops, Maggots, Beckett's, the Brooklands, and that whole complex of corners. And I think so many battles can be shown in each and every one of those corners. So yeah, it's a good track, and hopefully, as you said, good racing.
Indeed it is, of course. And just talked about the championship, of course, as I was absent last week. Tom filled in rather well for me on the commentary, as per usual, filling this out around Austria. But at that Grand Prix, KJ Gamer nowhere to be seen. So he is now 34 points behind championship leader Jolly. 171 for the Williams, 137, if you're not so quick at maths, for KJ Gamer. Third place then sits LCR Pit, with a brilliant battle, by the way, forming between Toro Rosso and Alfa Romeo. So I'll just read you through the order just a moment. So LCRP 83 points for Toro Rosso, aka of course they become the Trident team in F2. Then for the ART/Alfa Romeo, you've got F1 Gravity on 80, so that's 3 points between them two. Then 2 points behind comes the other Trident, aka Toro Rosso of Dasher on 78, and then 8 points behind him is Callum G. So 13 points between the Toro Rosso and Alfa Romeo teams currently in the battle for P3. There's a big gap, as you probably heard, 54 points between PT and KJ. So a brilliant fight for P3, and that's what you want to see, Tom. Not just the focus on the top guys, between Jolly and KJ, but also such an intense battle between the likes of PT, Gravity, Dasher, all giving it that 110% to try and get that final place on the championship podium.
Yeah, that sort of top part of the midfield of the entire grid. It's such a competitive little group, as you said, from like fourth, maybe fifth, all the way down to possibly like the 11th spot. Those sort of drivers are always going to be close together in terms of championship points. Yeah, the only real gap is F1 Jiangxi behind Callum, but other than that, it's really close together, really competitive driving, and it's good for the sport.
Most certainly. Let's just talk to you about the constructors. So Williams do lead the way. They, of course, are the Carlin team in Formula 2. 193 points for them, respectively. Sparshot bringing home a total of 22 points for them. Currently sits in 11th place, joint with AMS Joels. Toro Rosso then hold on to second with 161 points, only 11 points clear. Alfa Romeo on 150. And then Mercedes, of course, are only really represented these days by KJ Gamer due to the issues we have seen throughout the season. But now Diablo jumps in full time for them. So good luck to him, of course, representing alongside KJ. So currently they sit holding down in P4, and currently it means there's 14 points between second down to fourth in the constructors as well. So just exciting in the constructors as it is in the overall standards. But we're now jumping in, Tom, for the qualifying race. I mention this every single week that we go live at WXL. Of course, this does not actually regard any championship points. This 5-lapper is just to determine the grid for the Formula 1 race, where the points are really battled for. I'm interested to see how the drivers manage it, of course. And Britain, Tom, very racy track, so this might be one of the most exciting 5-lappers we have on the calendar.
Yeah, and as we know, as you've seen F2 cars, especially amongst here, I think you can get your elbows out a bit more. You can not play dirtier, but there's a bit more leeway in terms of what deems as contact. It's very scruffy, it's very raw, and especially around a track like Silverstone, there's very little space for breathing in terms of if you are in a battle. The way that the track is, it's just going to keep going.
It's an instant one on the calendar, and we're just still waiting for the guys to now jump in for the one-shot qualifying. Now, of course, we do have a one-shot qualifying to determine the F2 grid. It's not just going to be completely random, because otherwise that would be unfair for some drivers. So it will be, of course, decided by one lap pace, and this is just as crucial as the actual 5-lapper itself, because it could make or break your weekend, this very first bit. And as you can see, it is absolutely chucking it down, Tom. We've got the full wet tyres, because, of course, these cars don't have the option for intermediates. It's either full wet or the dry tyres. So that puts a whole different fish into this barrel now that we have a full wet qualifying for the one shot. This could really begin to make or break someone's weekend.
Yeah, of course, Britain living up to its name on the weather. But as we've seen before, many people struggle in the F2 cars alone in the dry on its own. So it will be interesting to see how they cope with the additional disadvantage of the wet onto the track. I can see a number of people spinning by lap 2.
Yeah, so we're going to ride on board with the championship leader. Jolly is going to take us around in his Carling car to begin this one-shot quali. As you can see, he's got the full wet blue wall tyres on. Of course, we still have the 2016 cars. He locks it a bit into turn 1 as he comes through towards the first couple of corners and towards the arena section for the very first time in his F2 cars, really sliding the car out. Matt currently and Diablo battling away at the top. Two former really heavyweights in the commentary community. KJ gets himself up towards the front as well, alongside Kingsley and Squiddy Genie as well. Coming down towards Aintree corner and down the back straight as Diablo retired from the session. Losing Bubba somewhere down the line. That could very much been the cause as Jolly slips his way into the top of the timesheets at the moment as he comes towards the first sector now as he gets Brookham's corner and tries to break as lightly as possible. As meanwhile, his teammate has gone out of qualifying. Teeth and Sparshot were currently in P15, but the grid kind of as you expected so far, but Jolly a bit deep at left field as he now comes around towards this tricky corner in the wet. He needs to get the power on as soon as possible, but not trying to split the rear tyres. Now through towards Cops corner he comes out of Woodcut nicely. Of course, it's kind of a flat out corner these days. Now towards Cops, which is even more hard in the wet. He's down a fourth gear, trying to get the car nicely. Meanwhile, currently the two Tridents holding on third and fourth of them. It's brilliant display by them. Currently outdoing KJ Gamer, and the two ARTs continue to be close together because Gravity and Callum G 6th and 7th, and the two Tridents currently now down to 3rd and 5th as KJ appears to have nailed Maggots and Beckett's just about. Kingsley now getting us along the 6th as well. So now come down the DRS straight where of course they don't have the line of DRS, and down the hanger straight towards Stowe corner at the moment, Tom, and we'll have to see where they go. Just take us for this last sector. It's a very tricky section to take.
Yeah, in the dry, you can sort of take this, you can just lift off the throttle and just slightly go wide and you'll be alright, but in the wet you have to be very cautious. You can see Jolly coming up to sort of the club section. Very tight section, very easily the car can oversteer, especially around this section here that Jolly's coming through now. Very easy on the throttle as you come on the final corner, making sure not to oversteer too much or spin the car out, which Jolly does.
Oh, he spun it at the line.
Safe enough to go pole for now. But it doesn't look like anyone's going to get any possible. He holds
a second. He is a second clear on pole.
And that was with the spin as well.
That is unbelievable. 54.454 for Jolly. 55.452 for PT on the front row alongside. And the two trying to call him nominals batting up to second and third as one-shot quali. But what about that? Jolly, he's a championship leader. He's pretty much been winning most of the time this season, but you might as well nickname the Rainmaster after that. Was phenomenal. It's like watching Ayrton Senna back in his prime at the Monaco Grand Prix. I remember that long ago. But here is your grid for the F2 race. So you've got Jolly on pole, PT alongside him. Dasher makes it a 2-3 for Trident. Phenomenal display by him. KJ starts from 4th. ART's Callum G starts from 5th. Splits the two ARTs as the Russian time of Kingsley in 6th. Gravity starts from 7th. Matt 2-1-2, the reserve for MP, starts from 8th. Squidgy Ginny 3 in 9th. And BWT's Alfarati rounds out the top 10. Both of the Campos cars start 11th and 12th, with the Sherrills of AMS Joels starting from 13th. Prima Racing's Troll starts from 14th. Sparshot starts from 15th. And finally Diablo at the back in 16th for this Grand Prix that we have, of course, the 5-lap sprint awaits these drivers as well, Tom. And, well, let's see if we've got the same conditions for the races we have in the dry. We're now coming in towards the lobby. I'll have a quick look. Nope, it is crystal clear, slightly overcast skies for the 5-lapper, and I'm pretty sure some of the drivers probably be relieved to hear that.
Yeah, actually, that puts a lot of sigh of relief, as it were, I think, amongst the grid. But I'm just thinking about Jolly. Had he not spun out at that final corner, where could he have come? Like how further could he have come on pole? Because he spun out, and I'd say he lost about a tenth, maybe, or two. But yeah, we wait for just a few more drivers, and we'll be in a dry sprint race session for these F2 cars.
Indeed, we shall. It's been up towards the 5 red lights. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the qualifying race in WXL Season 4 is off. in Silverstone. As expected, the guy's going to fairly wheel spinny getaway. Diablo mini game on splash shot down towards turn 1 for the first time. Trident still battling away just about as at Dasher slots in behind his teammate. KJ is under pressure, potentially from Callum G and Kingsley, and this in the background as well. Down towards the club and arena section, they come for the first time. Callum G is under pressure here from Kingsley. They now come through towards this section. Still remains John in the lead. The two Tridents hold on to second and third. KJ fourth, Callum G fifth, and Kingsley still splitting the two cars. Just about bit of contact between the Scotsman and the Englishman there, between Kingsley and Callum G. And now Gravity's trying to take much. No, he's not. Bit of contact with him. I think that was Adam Lee involved. A massive crash in the background. There's cars off everywhere. Squidgy's off. Adam Lee off. Ross looks to be also off. Trollder's off. Everyone going off absolutely everywhere. Carnage start for the midfield, but at the front it still made the same. However, KJ trying to around his old season 1 rival of LCR PT round Luffield towards Woodcote. Dasher over trying to prune it off, so it's PT trying to get past, not Dasher. Now through towards Copstow. Here comes the two Tridents trying to stick together like super glue. Sparshot goes out of the session. He had a hell of a start to 11th, but is now out of the qualifying race. And we'll start from the back in this one. And Trolled, yep, as mentioned, also off. What about Diablo as well? He looks to be also off. Oh, there's a big crash there. What's happened there?
I'm not sure. I think either Diablo or Ross went into the back of Trolled. Trolled and Diablo had a bit of a mix-up around sector 1 at the start, so in a bit of rivalry there. I'm not sure what happened there, but Ross, Diablo and Trolled, I think they all definitely have some sort of damage among them. Ross obviously having no front wing going into the back of Trolled.
Meanwhile, KJ gets past PT through towards Stowe, so that splits both the Trident cars. Now Dasher tries to work to get away, but Jolly is absolutely flown ahead, 1.9 seconds after only one lap. Clear at the front of the field in this F2 race. He's absolutely superb in these F2 cars, 44.9 for his first lap time. Meanwhile, in the background, that was a slidey. I think that was the MP Motorsport car putting the Russian time under pressure. Kingsley against Matt here through towards turn 1. Kingsley really under pressure through towards Abbey and now towards the arena section and the loop. He tries to have a look on the inside. Kingsley, though, smart to that one, breaks as late as possible. But again, through towards the loop, he's still on the back of this Russian time, but not enough for him to find a way. Callum G still sniffing around the back of LCR PT ahead of the old championship rivals. ART against Trident, really coming together on track here, but down towards Brooklands still remains the same. We're into the pits. We've got Squidgy Jr. and both of the Campos cars, Adam Lee and SV Ross, and we have lost T10 Sparshot in the opening lap in this qualifying race, of course. This race that doesn't actually count for anything in the grand scheme of things other than where you will start for the F1 side of things. Jolly 2.5 seconds clear at the front, and he looks to be sailing on clear, but this midfield battle, Tom, as per usual, really heating up.
Yeah, Kingsley putting pressure on the back of Callum, trying to get that 6th position. I'm showing yellows in sector 2. I'm not sure what that is.
It's Joel's.
That is Joel's, yeah, going off. A lot of drivers near bottom section of the grid, slightly struggling to get a hold of a recovery drive. Meanwhile, as I said, Kingsley closing in on Callum, but both hitting the jerk out of that Madison Becker section. Onto the back straight, Kingsley slipping, going in of Callum, trying to catch up to him as much as possible. I don't think he'll be able to catch him in raw pace. I think Callum has the slightly better car of the two right now. As he goes slightly wide, interesting imagination of the track there.
You can take that corner very wide, which is what he's trying to do. Meanwhile, Pete holding up a nice little train here as KJ has got a few attempts, if not 8 attempts. Oh, as Kingsley got massively off out the final corner. The MP Motorsport just not managed to come out ahead of Matt there, just about through towards turn 1. That was absolute chaos what that could have been, but here comes opportunity for Matt now again. This time going to try and look around the outside, and the Russian time tries his best to cut him off, but now through towards the second part of the arena section, and Matt still trying to find a way on the outside of the Russian time at the moment. The MP Motorsport reserve now through towards Aintree. He's got a really opportunity on the inside line if he can get it down towards Brooklands. They both, of course, will have that DRS advantage wide open, and it's actually, in fact, it's Kingsley gets the much better exit of the two. Meanwhile, PT has lost the second out to KJ, who was really trying to hunt down on Dasher, and this could be range critical for KJ because he needs to get past Dasher to have the hope of starting on the same part of the front row. That's Jolly, who's currently running away at the front of the field, 3 seconds clear after only 3 laps. But here comes the old season rivals, season 1, Dasher against KJ. What used to be Williams and Mercedes is now Mercedes and Toro Rosso. Not a lot changes with regards to the KJ Gamer, but through towards Maggots and Beckett still remains the same as they are. But Stoke Corner could be his opportunity, Tom. Now through towards out of Chapel and now down towards Stowe. DRS goes wide open for the Dams car, but I don't think he's close enough just yet. Not enough of an advantage. Really closes and closes. Looks to the inside slightly and lets Dasher know that he is there. He's going to try and find a way past it if possible. Out of Stowe now, clipping a back end there for the American. the Brit, tries to hunt him down here, and of course his home Grand Prix, and really file the pressure under through towards the final couple of corners. Jolly begins lap 4 now, and has actually kept that gap maintaining at 2.9. KJ a bit wide out of Club Corner. That's not going to do him any good at all. Meanwhile, Kingsley's got a right. Oh, there's a car from the background. That's Matt. Matt 212 going off at Club Corner. Kingsley was trying to find a way past Kanji almost simultaneously through towards the arena. He does lunge down the inside of the Scot. He has gone down the inside. Can he try and find it through towards the second part of the arena? He has got it, potentially going to have a switch back through towards Aintree. He does try and short shift up the gears to get the best traction, but it's not enough really. But Cullen has lost a second now out to Petey, but still has crucially the DRS, but the straight line speed is more than on for the Russian time. He goes to the inside of the ART car. Has he got the nerve through towards Brooklands? Yes, he has. Kingsley might be ahead, but the switchback is more than on for the Scot. Around the outside through towards Luffield again. The ART trying to find a way through. Fight his way back into that 5th spot for qualifying. Still is on the outside through towards Woodcote and towards Cops. Incredible stuff between the two, and eventually has to leeway because Kingsley has definitely got a higher straight line speed set up than what Callum has at the moment through towards Cops. So really poor exit for Kingsley. Callum still trying to look for a way past, goes left and right. Not enough for him to find a way past though, Tom. But meanwhile, what about this battle between KJ and Dasher? Because this is really hotting up, Tom.
Yeah, KJ had to back off slightly. I think this is going to take Beckett just a slight too wide. Almost into the guard. He had to back off a lot, to be honest. And as I said there, he's got a run on Dasher. He looks to make the move on the outside. Goes for a very, very early move. It looks like he wants to secure what is to be the inside line as early as possible as he bangs to the inside of Dasher there. So he's still got the inside line. Does Dasher leave enough room? I don't. It's just a tad off. So this keeps Dasher in front of KJ for now. He's lost control of the car, almost. Nice recovery from KJ there, but this has let Dasher slip away. Meanwhile, Kingsley managing to fend off the Callum quite a bit, and he's now closing in on Petey. He's just 6 tenths behind him. He's on a charge.
Yeah, I did think we saw Kanji pick up a time penalty as well, as Adam Lee also does the same, but he's got 24 seconds to his teammate, and will currently start from 14th as it stands. The yellow flag in sector 3, Tom. Not too sure what that is, but it's cleared up whatever it may be. Meanwhile, PT is really under pressure here from Kingsley. Same with KJ and Dasher trying to go right up until the end of this 5-lap sprint, but there's no question in my mind who's going to be on pole. Once again, the Carlin comes out. He was a second clear of everyone else in qualifying, and now when it came to the qualifying race, he's got almost a second a lap clear of everyone else as well. Dasher currently under pressure from KJ. We'll have to keep an eye on this battle through towards Cops. There's another yellow flag, and Adam Lee goes out of the session, so he won't start from 14th, he'll actually start from 15th because his teammate will get past him. So the Renaults are going to currently start way down at what is going to be the 7th and 8th row respectively. But on board with KJ as he tries to find a way past the 2-time WXL champion against his old foe of Season 1, down the hanger straight towards Stowe they come. He's got the DRS open, he closes and closes, but Dominic is going to be close enough to remove really. Closes up towards the end of the corner. Well. Might try a lunge, he does try a lunge, KJ down inside, and off he goes into the barriers. Dramatic scenes in the qualifying race. Kingsley trying to find a way past PT on the final lap, and might just about do. The Russian time might find the way past the Trident, and does into third place, sorry, so PT will not have the 2-3 start. Jolly takes the victory. Dasher will come home second. Kingsley in third, PT in fourth in the end, but dramatic scenes it seems. ART also bring home 5th and 6th, 700th between them in the end. RT comes home 7th, phenomenal job by him. KJ has to settle for P8, Matt P9, and Joels rounds out the top 10. Dramatic scenes at the end of that 5-lapper.
Yeah, controversial scenes indeed. I was about to say that KJ usually struggles with these F2 cars. He usually underperforms it. Today he shows that he has got the pace in the F2 cars. However, it doesn't look like Racecraft has got the best of him today. And this thing that has happened before, and it's happened again. But hopefully during the race, he might be able to bounce back. He is starting 8th. That's still a decent position.
Yeah, we're just now on board with the final few men. Squiddy Guinea come up to the line after having to make the pit stop. He's going to come home in P13 for the Russian times. Currently 3rd and 13th, so a chance for nobody to split the strategies at the moment between those two. Not really a chance for the two Tridents because they'll be 2nd and 4th for this one. Same with ART, 5th and 6th. And fair play, by the way, to Alfa Arti, who's the owner of the league. He qualified 10th and he just kept his nose clean. He's ended up getting P7, which by his standards is great for himself and for Pred at BWT. Now going to, of course, be the racing point for Formula 1. Phenomenal for him, but here comes Ross up to line for 14th as well. And then we have at the start of the 16th, finished with 14 in the qualifying race. And unsurprisingly, it's the Carlin on pole, and KJ has it all to do with the F1 cars.
Yeah, Kingsley has got to be chuffed as well. You know, he was fighting hard, and we didn't really think that anything was. We thought that everything was set in stone, and then obviously KJ did have that accident, and Kingsley's found himself on that third position to start for the race.
Yeah, so there is your podium three celebrating. So it's Jolly alongside Dasher alongside Kingsley currently. So 3 different teams occupy the front 3 for this one, but the highest performing team goes to Trident with 2nd and 4th on the grid. What could have been 2nd and 3rd, but not to be, thanks to a last ditch opportunity taken by Kingsley, who nabs away the P3, which also means there's a Tech 10 1-3 as well, with AMS splitting those two. So there's your grid for it. So Jolly on pole position with Dasher alongside him in P2. Kingsley starts from P3 with PT in P4. Then comes both of the RT cars. They love qualifying near each other, and currently they occupy the entire 3rd row. Callum G ahead of F1 Gravity. BWT's Alpha RT brings home P7. KJ in the end has to settle for P8. Matt in the end only managed 9th. Joel's runs out the top 10. Outside the top 10 we've got the other dams of Diablo. Troll starts from 12th. Squidgy in 13th. SV Ross in 14th, Adam Lee 15th, and T10 Sparshot rounds out the grid for a 16-man grid in the league that does it like no other. Are you ready, Tom? Because we're about to begin the final process before we get to the actual main event, the F1 cars.
Yes, I am. Just when you thought that, you know, everyone sort of got F2 cars, something slips up. I don't think it's going to keep happening now. I think at least something is going to happen each F2 race, because it has so far. As the session that switches over from the F2 cars into the F1 cars, and we're getting into the counter teams. But yeah, so I think it's just going to be, everyone's going to have to deal with the fact that the F2 cars are difficult to drive, I think. Because if you get caught up in a battle, or you know, you lose traction because of the car, stuff like that happens. I think with KJ, where I think it just sort of snaps the car, and he went off.
Oh, it looked like as if he tried a late lunge on Dasher through towards Stowe, which it was never on, but he tried it. It didn't work out, and instead now has to start down in P8, which could have been a P3. But still, nevertheless, I'm sure he'll persevere heading into this 50%. Of course, this is the crucial thing that I mention every single week in WXL. We have the situation where, of course, we're going to have the freedom of choice of tyres. No one is restricted to starting on a set of tyres due to the fact, of course, that we don't have the same compounds between F1 and F2. So it'll be interesting to see how the drivers fare, what tyres they'll go on, because, of course, Tom, the strategy around here, it's a simple soft to medium. That's the strategy around here. It's easy said and done. But will we see some of the guys further down to a medium to soft in the hope that extending their stint at the start might come back and help them?
Yeah, I mean, there's always the mindset of the further down you are, the more you sort of have to play it safe. So yeah, you can take a risk, and we probably will see. We'll definitely see that today. I think from 1 or 2 drivers, definitely around that bottom part of the pack. But yeah, it's simple enough. But if people play it like that, I think everyone will sort of be around the same sort of strategy.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And we're just waiting for the grid to be set and the final for you guys to take their seats in the correct cars as well. We just need Matt to pick the McLaren. We also need Jolly to go in the Williams. The pole sitter needs to make his mind up. Vapid, by the way, has jumped in the lobby. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with regards to him, of course. So I've just now quickly skip over my graphic now to go from F2 to F1, because I have a graphic which tells me what every single car is made by RE, so I can see where everyone is based. So of course it'd be interesting to see what happens with regards to reserves as well. Of course, Matt was representing MP in the F2 side, so I'm sure he should be representing McLaren in the F1, but I'm not sure if that will go for or not, because he's currently gone in the Haas alongside Trolled. Of course, we only have one Haas here today, because of course Aaron Bat's not here again. We're just waiting for the grid to be set up, Tom, and well, I'll ask you this question. If you're someone like Jolly, after being so far ahead in the F2 side of things, does that increase your nerves that now if it doesn't go right for you in the F1 side of things?
I think there's definitely a sense of you don't want to try and be overly confident. I think there's definitely a sort of fear of like it's too good to go wrong, that sort of idea, but it definitely can go wrong. I've seen it, I think, in this league, across other leagues. I think somewhere I've seen it. The driver gets a bit too cocky, and then like starts pushing the car to get away further, and then they mess up. But I think a driver like Jolly, if he has the right mindset for the majority of the time in races, where he knows where to push the car, where not to, when to attack, when not. So I don't really think any sort of nerves phase him at all, to be honest.
Well, we have to wait and see for him. I'm just waiting for the final few guys to sort issues out, because of course we do have a few jump in. Apparently Ant-Man might be also jumping as well, so we might have 18 for the actual Grand Prix, which would be nice to see, of course. Ant-Man, of course, representing McLaren, of course, Rapid Reserve currently. But in terms of outright performers in that one, Tom, Artie sticks out as a good one that done well there. Gravity putting in a good display for ART alongside Callum G. It was pretty what you'd expect at the front, but there was a couple of guys in there that just kept it consistent and brought home, a solid day's worth of a starting position.
Yeah, I think definitely with Matt and Kingsley going at it, I definitely think that they managed to keep the consistency of speed while still battling. And I think if they can translate that sort of drive style to the actual F1 cars, they can get very far in the race very quickly.
Yeah, of course. We're just waiting for the final few things to be set, and then we'll get underway for this one. Of course, a lot slicker than what it used to be when we first started. I've just been informed that the formation lap will be off. So if you are watching and racing and you're not reading the chat, the formation lap is off for the proceedings because of the issues with regards to the lobby. It can glitch it out 9 times out of 10. So to prevent that, the formation lap is switched off. So once we have the half a minute up, we will go straight to 5 red lights, and of course we'll have 26 laps of flat out racing around this British Grand Prix. Tom, we're now getting ready to jump in. Are you excited? Because I am.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. It's definitely going to be close. I think top 5 are going to be very close to each other. Maybe their top 2, Jolly, might start to edge away from the rest of the pack, as he usually does. Again, I think if KJ can get around making these needs for these corrections from locking up that in recent times we've been seeing quite regularly, I think he can definitely be a main aggressor towards Jolly's position in the race, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, this start could really be an interesting one. It'd be interesting to see how KJ gets on managing finding a way past midfield, because it's not an easy bunch in that midfield pack. You've got lots of Callum G in there, Kingsley in there, Gravity also involved. There's drivers in there that are not going to be easy, even for KJ standards, to get past in the first few laps. Dasher as well, of course, that's almost deemed as like the sub-boss, if you will, in terms of finding a way past. If he wants to get to Jolly, he's got to find a way past the Dasher as well. But who knows, Jolly could also bugger up the start himself. There's anything that could really happen in this one. There's thousands of possibilities. And again, that's something that really, really excites me about WXL, is you never do quite know what to expect. And some leagues, to look for certain drivers. Some leagues, to think, oh, okay, he's going to do well, and you just know who's going to be at the front. But in this, you simply don't know which way the book is going to turn. As we now get ready for the Grand Prix to set. So a quick rundown of the grid before we get underway. So Jolly on pole, Dash alongside him in P2. Kingsley starts on P3 with LCRPT in P4. Callum G and F1 Gravity are 5th and 6th for Alfa Romeo. Artie, the lone racing point, starts from 7th. 8th for KJ, in the end, has to settle for that position. Matt 2-1-2 alongside him in P9. Should have been representing McLaren, but is now in the Haas. And out the top 10 is the Ferrari of AMS Joels. Outside the top 10, we've got Diablo in the second, Mercedes, Trolled in 12th. Squidgy Genie 13th, SV Ross 14th, Adam Lee 15th, Sparshot 16th, and then 2 new men that have joined the lobby. Both McLarens of Vapiku and Eero Ansman start 17th and 18th on the 9th row. But of course, they're not officially on the 9th. Not officially both McLaren, just the one side in Eero Ansman. And we're getting ready for the ticks to come on, Tom. And you got any final thoughts before we get underway?
Yeah, many drivers starting on the medium tyre, I've noticed. From Kingsley in 3rd all the way down to 8th KJ, they're all on mediums. The bottom from 14th to 18th, they're on mediums. The Dasher so far is the only one of those softs inside the top 10. Now he's on mediums as well. So I think it's Diablo.
This could be one of the most unusual starts we've had in a long time. But as we build up towards the 5 red lights, we've got 3, 4, 5 red lights, and WXL season 4 is off in Britain. It's a good start there from Johnny off the line. Dash again, okay start. Bill Wilson in the second fight. King now running around the outside, down towards turn one. He is running outside the Red Bull, trying to find a long around of his sister team. Meanwhile, the Baron Callum on one of his LCRP through towards the arena section. Coming the first time. Jolly safely leads. Callum G ahead of LCRP through towards the arena section. The Toro Rosso and Alfa Romeo still continues in the WXL. Side by side was Alfa Rosso. He's trying to find F1 Gravity. He's trying to gain position on that one. He should have more or less been defending, but still side by side between the two. Yellow flags in the background. As Antoine Sparshall also involved. Down towards the Brooklands corner. They come for the first time. Jolly leads ahead of Kingsley, Dasher, Callum G, PT and F1 Gravity currently hold 4th down to 6th for Alpha and for Toro Rosso. PT has then gone off at Brooklands corner. Looks to be contact with someone else now. Contact on the track rather aggressively. Nearly went into Squidgy Genie there. Through towards Luffield. Squidgy is round the outside of him for P12. Diablo had an incredible start for himself on the soft side to P8. But what about further down? Looking absolute chaos further.
Yeah, drivers Adam Lee and I think it was Asman got caught up. Meanwhile, Squidgy currently battling for P11. In the likes of the Renault of SB Ross, and I think Vapid in the background, they're trying to catch up. Squidgy almost went into the back and nearly went into the back of SB Ross there, but he's now coming back onto the main straight, or the hanger straight. Squidgy into the slipstream of Ross. Is it going to be able to overtake by the time we get to the end of the straight? SB Ross on PT goes to the inside of the Toro Rosso, and the Red Bull as well makes a move on PT. I think, PT has to fit. I should say he has damage front light.
Yeah. Anyone else going to come into the pits behind Antsman in? I think Sparshot might do the same. He's having an awful day so far. Is the Williams after crashing out in the bottom race. Yeah, the two owners of the league now are coming together. This could get feisty. The racing point of Alfarati against KJ through towards the second part of the arena. Diablo sitting and bearing down. Oh, it's in contact between the two Mercedes. Big disaster for Mercedes. They're out of Aintree corner. Artie still trying to put the pressure on KJ here through towards Brooklands corner. Down the inside goes the Mercedes for his first real attempt to try and find the way past the racing point. He is down the inside and might try and find the way through, and does. Meanwhile, behind Artie pretty much pushing him through Luffield, however, not backing down at all is the racing point, and fair play to him because there's no right to. Meanwhile, Diablo still trying to think of an opportunity going through towards Woodcote, but up towards the front. Jolly still leads by 7 tenths clear of Kingsley. Let's have a look at tyres. It was only Diablo out of the entire field is on the red wall soft. Everyone else on the yellow wall medium. So watch out for the other Mercedes. Meanwhile, Vashkin has lost it out of Cop's corner. He has had a massive drop at the back end there. Whether there's contact between himself and Trolled, I'm not too sure. But he has gone off, and now means that crucially he's going to drop down the field. Yep, here goes Diablo on Artie. Artie went to the inside, but Diablo was more than wanting that inside line through towards Stowe. One of the most favoured overtaking manoeuvres on this Grand Prix circuit. But Artie holds his own on the outside line, and now towards the valve chicane, he's still holding on. And now through towards Club Corner, it still remains the same. What about with regards to the yellow flag? It's Ansman that's gone off again at the Aintree corner at the moment. But up towards the leaders, Tom. as you've got Diablo trying to find a way past once again on Artie, but couldn't quite through towards Village, and now is under pressure here from Matt through towards that section, and past goes the Rich Energy Haskar into P8, and they're currently now behind Artie, who very nearly came together. Did Diablo and Matt currently, those two really legends of the community, you could say, been around for a very long time and currently coming together on track. And now Matt trying to find a way past Artie as well. Now we're trying to find a way past the owner of the league. No pressure, lad. You're up against one of the giants of the community in terms of in this league as well. But up towards the front, it still remains the same. Jolly ahead of Kingsley, ahead of Dasher, and then currently a 4-car train featuring the Dasher, Callum G and F1 Gravity, both the Alphas, and then KJ now at the back of this. And meanwhile, speaking of which, this is the first Alpha, which is Callum G, a bit wide out of Cops. That could be a chance of weakness. And 2 seconds back comes this train here with Artie, Matsu 1-2, and Diablo. Meanwhile, another car off. It's Squidgy off at Cops, and Cops is currently proven to be the most menacing corner on the circuit. So no one has been playing. But here goes Matt through towards Stowe. Tom, is he going to try and find a way around the outside? I think he will.
Excellent move from the hard driver there. He just had a clear line, clear slipstream on the racing point. I've got to fall from you there. So into club session we go. And he's already 0.3 seconds ahead the racing point. So yeah, Diablo in. Diablo getting caught out in the F2 race. Made a bit of a decent recovery drive. So he goes into the pit now as we see the rest of the field buckle up at the front.
Yeah. It's interesting, by the way, that the team weren't ready for it. He came in and suddenly they appeared out of nowhere. So that's a glitch on my screen, I'm not too sure. But he's now on the hard, so he can go to the end. Same as PT and Sparshot, but I think Sparshot has left this session. Won't see any more from one side of the Williams camp, but the other still leads the way by 1.1 seconds. Then comes this 4-car train with these guys battling away heavily. Josmar now on the back of Artie, who's beginning to fall down the order, but keeping holding his own so far, really. He's really put the tussle with every single person he's battled so far. Through towards Cops, Gravity is really sliding, and here goes KJ to the outside line of him. Through towards Maggots and Beckett's the Alpha against the Mercedes. Who's got the nerve to try and hold their own? And it is indeed KJ that tries his best to hold it and does find a way past. But who will have DRS? It might even be Gravity potentially through towards Stowe corner. It is indeed F1 Gravity who has it. Meanwhile, Callum G is closing up to Dasher ahead. Kingsley's brought that gap down to 6 tenths between himself and the race leader. Callum G could find a way past at North with Gravity. What's happened to Squidgy?
Squidgy, I think he just spun, got caught out, so he retired from the session. I was just flicking through and I saw Troll catching outside of me, and then I flicked through Squidgy and he just spun into all unlucky from one half of Red Bull there. Yeah, Callum making a move.
Yeah, he's still trying to find a way past. Bit of a lock up there from the American, of course, against the Scotsman. We've got a really continental train here. We've got a Scotsman, we've got an American, we've got an Englishman, and we've got a man from, I think it's from Iceland. Sorry, I do apologise if I've got nationality wrong, but a proper continental train nevertheless between all these guys. As Warder comes into the chat, says, "Hey guys, hope you're having a good day, my friend." Gareth, of course, a good friend of mine, and of course Tom's as well. Meanwhile, Joel's does get away past Alpha I, but Artie not letting him go through at all. Through towards left field. Oh, contact between the two. Somehow they managed to save the car. I have no idea how they got both cars still going through that section. Meanwhile, KJ really sliding the back end, as was Callum G, but they both had a better exit than the man at the front of the train, which is AMS Dasher, and Callum pretty much pushing Dasher through this Magnussen Becky section. Look at the gap, by the way, between Dasher and Kingsley. 3.8 seconds, and they swapped positions on that one, would you believe? But here goes Callum to the outside line of AMS Dasher, long way around through towards Stowe, not really the ideal line, but swoops his way around, and into P3 goes the Alfa Romeo. A good bit of tussling, which now finally he had his opportunity, and boy, did the Alfa take it.
Yeah, meanwhile, SB Ross almost making a move on Artie, didn't quite get the move done. He's going for it again, slight contact to the side of the racing point. Can't quite get the move done. Onto the final corner. It does look like that Artie hasn't got the best of exits initially, however, he does get away slightly. SB Ross still there in the background of Artie's mirrors. But it doesn't look like he's made any moves whatsoever to try and catch up to him. He's lost that time that he's just caught.
Yeah, hefty battle here for only 2 points currently on offer at the moment. Meanwhile, Dasher continues to stick now to the back, who's now become the head of the train, which is Callum G. And yeah, KJ had a look on the inside there. As meanwhile, Yellow Flame, I think that might be troll related. For the Haas driver, he's cutting down in 12 plays. He's got 10-second time for cutting the corner. Meanwhile, Alan Woodcut, KJ's got a hell of a run out of off field and down towards Cops. He gets round the outside of his old foe in season 1. Has he got the nerve to try and hold his own? Dasher gets a really poor exit. Gets the switchback opportunity. Look at that. As if it was pretty much 170, 180 miles an hour, those two went side by side with millimetres to split them. And now KJ is into 4th. Dasher down to 5th, and just for add insult to injury, Dasher's got a free time and out goes Troll of the session. But here comes Gravity potentially on Dasher to make it potentially 3 positions lost in the space of pretty much a lap to the outside line. Goes there from Gravity. He hasn't got those to try and hold his way around. Dasher is best to try and hold his own, but through towards the Val chicane, nothing really on for the Alpha. And now KJ begins to bear down on the man in P3, Callum G.
Yeah, KJ, of course.
Tom?
Yeah, sorry, I was just going to say, yeah, KJ trying to close in on Callum. You can see Starshot's car there being lapped. Sorry, a bit of a cough.
Just saying,
meanwhile, Gravity. What's that where?
I was just saying how close KJ got to the back of Callum G coming through the arena section, really on the back of him. Interesting, by the way, Callum G picked up DRS. From Sparshot's AI, so that's done an immense favour at the moment for him. But yeah, sorry, I just missed over F1 Gravity.
Yeah, Gravity can't really take over Dasher. He's not really going anywhere, but he can't really reel him in. He's trying. I've been watching him all up. He's been trying to sort of catch up to him, just to the point where he's a bit of a threat. He might be able to get him on the back straight. Also, interestingly, Kingsley is managing to close that gap to Jolly. It was a massive gap at the start of the race already, but he's slowly starting to reel Jolly in.
Here goes KJ to the inside line of Callum G and very much swoops and takes that final podium place away from Callum G as if it was taking candy from a baby. Now KJ into P3, Callum G down to P4, and this really could become an interesting one as this Grand Prix continues. We now begin lap 8. Yes, we're already at lap 8. Would you believe it? KJ has just gone fast of all 30.6, and that's going to rather startle the front two, who are now being bared down upon 4.8 seconds between Kingsley and KJ, of course, in this battle of the medium tyres to softs. Everyone basically doing the same strategy in this one. And now, crucially, Tom, we had a 4-way train, and now it's supposed to become two-way trains with the KJ against Callum G and Dasher against Gravity.
Yeah, Dasher still not able to overtake. Gravity still not able to overtake Dasher. Hasn't got past him. Yeah, he's caught right up to the back of him in the whole Brooklyn sort of complex section of corners. But yeah, can't quite get past him, as I said. And as you said, Callum on KJ. Callum lost the position to KJ, and he's now trying to work his way back. He's going to have to take a bit of what's the word? I can't even think of the word. He has to be brave.
I would say perseverance.
Yeah, perseverance, that's the word. Yeah, he has to be very perseverant to try. Ambitious, that's the word. Ambitious, I found the word.
Yeah. I would personally say, though, in this situation, Tom, with Callum, as you said, the gap coming down between KJ and Kingston, if I was Callum right now, I'd be thinking, well, if the gap's coming down ahead, I'm more than happy to just continue along with you at the moment at the head of the train, you know, let him burn the ERS as he tries to close up and just allow them to get further away from the gap behind. You know, it's a really sort of fail-safe system at the moment for Callum G. He's in a good spot, let's put it that way. Yeah, because
he's just stuck. He's not going anywhere, so he can just use KJ Slipstream to keep him behind. Meanwhile, Gravity still not past Dasher. He gone slightly wide out of turn 3. Into turn 4, manages to catch up to Dasher quite well initially. However, Dasher getting a better exit onto the first straight off the track.
Yeah, meanwhile, the man that we haven't mentioned in a few laps is beginning to fly. Matt 212, the fellow Jolyon Palmer fan out there, good lad. is now beginning to bear down on the back of F1 Gravity as well. Gap 1.3 between those two, and he's definitely been faster than this train ahead at the moment. So looking positive for the reserve driver. Of course, hopefully might get a full-time seat sooner rather than later, because fair play, he does deserve one. What was in for the first few races for him. But meanwhile, up towards the front, and as you can see, we've gone more the first time. I haven't actually really spoke at all. I've spent very much time with Kingsley and Jolly, because the battle behind has been so gripping to watch, and currently the two remain the same, with the Williams ahead of the Red Bull, 1.1 between them at the moment, both driving superb races in these opening laps.
Gravity.
Of course, Kingsley getting the jump, but yeah, here goes Gravity, the outside of Dasher. Thanks for spotting that one, Tom. He finally took the opportunity that was waiting for him, and it wasn't enough to go on the outside line. And well, I suppose at Stowe, really, it's one of the most opportunistic corners. But if you haven't got the advantage, the outside line, it is practically worthless on the defence.
Yeah, sort of concerned as to why he decided to go to the outside line. As you said, there's not really much to gain. He's still behind Dasher. However, Dasher successfully defended from that, and he's going to have to try again next time round, I think. Because right now, Gravity's a sitting duck in this sort of midsection.
Through entry corner, DRS goes wide open for Gravity down towards Brooklands corner. He's having a look on the inside, potentially give an opportunity for a sort of momentum lunge, but it wasn't enough for him. As we now beat over on lap 10 of 26. If you're just tuning in, it's been a thrilling Grand Prix so far, a typical one to describe the home of motorsport here in Northamptonshire, UK, for the British Grand Prix in Silverstone, of course. Through towards Cops corner, however, on with this tight battle for fifth at the moment. Dasher again, a bit sort of a very aggressive line through Cops to the point where he's keeping up all the dirt right in the face of F1 Gravity. I'm sure you don't much appreciated that one. And then move swiftly along through towards out towards Chapel again. Kick up other dirt for Dasher, and here comes the DRS opportunity through towards Stowe for Gravity. Dasher this time has gone to the right, now goes defensive very late. Around the outside goes F1 Gravity. Could have put the perfect having a break, and has, but slides the back end through towards the Vouch again. That leaves another opportunity for Dasher on the inside. Not enough, not close enough to have a go. And finally, Gravity is ahead of Dasher. Now the next stage of the plan is to bolt on clear to get out of that DRS. That's the next stage for the Alfa Romeo. And look at the gap he's got ahead now, 4.4 seconds between himself and his teammate. Well, it was pretty much about 6/10. So really goes to show how much Dasher is struggling for race pace at the moment. Out of the second part of the arena section, Matt now beginning to bear down. He'll have DRS as well in this little fight that could now become another opportunity. Meanwhile, by the way, what has happened with the leaders? Jolly now 2.2 seconds clear of Kingsley behind. I don't know what on earth has happened to Kingsley, but Jolly's just ranked up to 11 all of a sudden.
Yeah, I think maybe Kingsley made a mistake, I'm not sure. But to be fair, KJ's not really made a gain on Kingsley at all. So yeah, possibly Jolly has just turned it up to 11. Meanwhile, Dasher looking to catch up back to Gravity. Into Magnus and Beckett's they go. Caught right up to the back of Gravity. Gravity made a slight error of judgment as to what line to take. This is going to let Dasher catch right back up. The Toro Rosso has the slipstream, has the DRS, goes to the, he's going to be the outside of Stowe. He gets something done nice and early. So into fifth he goes, taking back the spot that he held for quite a while, to be fair. And Gravity, I think, will have to be back to square one, trying to get past the Toro Rosso again.
Yeah, back to square one for him, but nevertheless he's got the DRS to burn. Look at the difference there. He's about 80-90% for Gravity, and then for Dasher there is next to about 10%. So it's clear that Dasher has spent all this time trying to defend by keeping his DRS and overtake, whereas Gravity just said, just pull me on, lad. I'm happy to conserve at the moment and just continue to bide my time as it stands. Meanwhile, Gravity, Kanji still doing the same behind KJ. Bit of a nudge there from Gravity to Dasher through the arena section. No front wing damage occurring for him by the looks of things, but still that's going to potentially be a little sign for Dasher that Gravity is there. He is very much going to try and find a way back past the American, and all of this in the background still Matt holding on. While further down you've got Joel's in P8, 4 seconds behind them. Alfarati's still holding down to P9, who has gained 4.5 seconds clear of Ross in 10th, and then comes his teammate Adam Lee. So currently both of the runners glued together on track. About the second and a half between them as it stands. We're now on board with Callum G, who's on the back of KJ still. Stuck to the back of him, really, more than anything, just to keep pulling ahead. And has now got the gap to Kingsley, the 3.9 seconds. And is there probably going to be alarm bells ringing for Red Bull at the moment, thinking, you know, KJ's behind and he's bringing that gap slowly, or is Liam doing a good enough job to just keep it at a minimal?
To be honest, I don't think Kingsley is too concerned, because if he does catch up, as we all know, and Kingsley definitely knows, Kingsley's very hard to get past. He's all well and good KJ catching up to him, but we've seen Kingsley's driving style, although very aggressive and quite deadly to face up against, it's very effective, and it works, and it makes drivers very wary as to when to attack, because Kingsley can defend so well.
Yeah, one of the probably the first times this Grand Prix on board with Jolly, who currently leads the WoW lap 13 of 26. And well, it'll be interesting to see, by the way, because of course everyone's doing the medium to soft strategy, Tom. But with the undercut, you know, there's more than an opportunity for someone to undercut someone else here. So you know, as Jolly, what would you do? Would you pit as early as possible? Or would you just wait out and see what the others do? Because you've got the gap.
Well, obviously there's the lack of communication in terms of, you know, now that Squidgy's gone, he can't pit first, see how the tyre feels. Kingsley, cutting that final bit of the Magic Circuit section, picking up a 3-second time penalty. This could further, make problems for the Red Bull driver, as KJ is slowly catching him. Meanwhile, Callum catching up on KJ as well. He's not really going into the pits. So he's going to be the first to probably try and undercut in that top section. Meanwhile, Gravity on Dasher.
Yeah, this could be a crucial move as Matt watches on. We'll go on board with Matt at the back of this train through towards Club Corner, and he's going to sniff an opportunity as well in this one through towards the beginning of lap 14 for these guys. Now they'll get bumped up a position because of course KJ has pit and is going to try and make his soft at the end, and that could be crucial about what his tyre wear is at the end. Could it be puncture territory? If so, that could potentially make or break not only this race but also the championship hopes. Well, of course, we're only at round 10 in WXL out of 21, but nevertheless it's still 34 points between himself and Joel at the front of the table, so it's crucial that he gets this absolutely right. Meanwhile, Gravity is really under pressure from Matt, but also put himself under a lot of pressure with regards to Dasher ahead as well. Through towards Luffield, and again Gravity goes to the outside and looks to try and get the swooping line almost, if you will, through towards Woodcut. And now towards Cops. My pronunciations are getting worse and worse as the day goes on. And come on, there's only British circuit. Imagine what it'd be like at somewhere like Azerbaijan and try and pronounce their corner. Never a chance really. Through towards Magnus and Beckett's nevertheless come at 4th, 5th and 6th. And this battle, Tom, might continue from now till the very end of the Grand Prix.
Yeah, and because we have seen them all on the same tyre, this is going to be a very long battle indeed as Matt goes to make a move on Gravity. Gravity pushing slightly to grass off the harsh, but it looks like he's going to make a move on Gravity. Doesn't quite get the move done, had to back off slightly, still there to make the cut, but Gravity very sneakily cutting out, making a very late lunge or a very early break from Gravity, trying to stop Matt making that overtake. However, it was unsuccessful. Matt now into 5th, trying to chase down Dasher. It looks like he's slightly faster than Gravity, so maybe he can get past Dasher a lot easier than Gravity. He's already catching up quite rapidly, it seems.
Yeah, meanwhile, KJ pit and has got clean air. That's the crucial thing for the Mercedes. He's got the clean air advantage, which could be crucial to him. The gap was about 3-4 seconds when he came into the pits with regards to Kingsley. What will it be when he comes out? You have to wonder. Adam Lee in for Renault after he was battling with his teammate before he came in through towards Stowe.
Whoa!
All contact! Gravity and Matt off at Brooklands corner, and Gravity waiting for Matt. Fair play, that's good sportsmanship from the two shown. But that's surely going to really impact with regards to the grand scheme of things, because now Jolson's on the back, and that reprieves Dasher to hold on to what will be, of course, a net P5 when all the pit stops come in. But where did that come from? Was that just contact with Gravity just going a bit too quick through Brooklands? What actually happened, Tom? Did you see?
I think Gravity just... I think he just broke a little bit too late, locked up the rear, went straight into the back of Matt. It does look like contact. It doesn't really look like much damage has been made. Of course, that's only visual. It could genuinely be quite a damaged car We'll have to wait and find out as they come out to the pits. As Callum enters the pits now, so he goes in for his changing of tyres. Will KJ make a worthwhile move?
Everyone bar F1 Gravity in the top. So Jolly and Kingsley stayed out. Callum G pit, Dasher pit, Matt pit, Joel's pit, Artie's pit. Gravity has had to stay out due to his teammate coming in, of course. He doesn't want to double stack and lose even more time after what he's just lost. Into the pits comes Dasher, clean stop for him. What about traffic though? This could come critical. KJ's 2 laps extra, of course, has meant he has got a very large margin to Callum G behind him. What about Vapid? He could be an essential spicer in all of this, and he comes out just behind Callum G, who is 4.7 seconds behind KJ. But with the advantage of tyres, could that come costly? But crucially, Tom, this is the most crucial fact, if he's 5 seconds clear of Callum G, the gap between Kingsley and Callum G was about 4, so surely he's going to undercut surely Kingsley is going to get undercut here by KJ.
Yeah, quite possibly. I think Mercedes has done the local win there. Kingsley coming around the last few corners now. Is he going to go into the pit? So Jolly enters the pit, as does Kingsley. So both the leader and the man who started third managed to get a lucky podium start there for the start of the Grand Prix. They both enter the pits, so we'll just have to wait to see if it is enough for KJ to make a undercut. He's already got a 2-lap advantage undercut on the rest of the pack. Is it going to be enough to overtake Jolly and Kingsley? We'll have to find out. Well, Jolly and Kingsley done with their pit stop now. Gravity in as well.
It's crucial as Ross comes in. KJ has not had a single ounce of traffic in this pit stop. Every single time he's got close to someone, they've had to pit. As he goes fast as 29.7, where is Jolly? Jolly's already come out of the pit. There is Kingsley on the left, and past goes KJ by a good 1.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Gravity trying to find a way out of the pits, and he's going to come out behind Matt surely. So Ross as well out of the pits. Out went Diablo from the session. There goes Matt past into 7th. Gravity down to 8th. Joel's meanwhile also might have a chance, but doesn't, and out went Diablo. Did you see at all what happened to him?
No, I did not see him, I don't think, either. I don't know what happened. I'm pretty sure maybe just lost the car, maybe retired, gave up. But I want to make an interesting point. There's going to be a crossover period where Kingsley's tyres will be faster than KJ's, because KJ's tyres are older. So there's going to be, I think, possibly a lap, maybe just 2 laps, where Kingsley has to properly push to make as much time as possible to catch up to KJ. He's on a bit of a charge already, just shy of just a second over, 1.1 seconds from KJ, as we saw him quite a successful undercut on the Red Bull.
But it's crucial, by the way, that the fact that Kingsley carries a 3-second time penalty over his head. That's the crucial fact. None of the top 4 do, but Kingsley is the only one. 29.3 for KJ, again goes fastest of all. Vapid is the final man to pit for McLaren and is going to come out in, well, pretty much no man's land, as PT also pit for a set of softs as well to do his second stop, because pit on the very first lap. Matt goes past, and now we have official positions really with regards to everyone. So on lap 18 of 26, Jolly leads ahead of KJ, ahead of Kingsley in 3rd. Callum G for 4th for Alfa Romeo. AMS Dasher holding on to 5th at the moment. Matt 2-1-2, under 3 seconds behind him and closing back down after the incident between himself and F1's Gravity, who's currently P7 with regards to that. Joel's P8 for Ferrari, with Alfa still in the points, holding on to P9. Adam Lee, currently after undercutting his teammate, is holding on to P10 for Renault at the moment. That could change, but up towards the front, Tom, and KJ is very much under pressure here against Kingsley.
Yeah, coming around, Cox. Kingsley got a much better exit over KJ. Looks like he's got the DRS. He's not going to make a move.
He goes to the inside.
Late lunge around Stowe. KJ still has that left inside, what is going to be the inside when you enter the club section. Kingsley's still there, still side by side. He's going to move forward a bit, going to be slightly more aggressive in the move, and he's going to be making quite a successful overtake. Can he do it? Yes, he does just. KJ Salt's immediately behind, trying to get the slipstream, and he might be able to return the favour for Kingsley in just a few corners time. We'll have to wait and see. But for now, Kingsley has made a successful overtake and is into second.
Yeah, just the move that he needed to make, and now he's the bolt clear. But with a DRS around here, it's not so easy to do. Two DRS zones, and both of them are rather long. Down out of Aintree Corner, down towards Brooklands. Here comes KJ on the return. Down the inside goes the Mercedes on the Red Bull. Has he got the nerve trying to hold it through towards Luffield around the outside for the C2-time WXL champion against Kingsley? Not enough for him to have a go. Out of Woodcote though, down towards Cox. This is another opportunity that's not really favoured, but he might try it. He's not going to look like he's favouring an attack. Might once again hold it out of Magnus and Beckles and Chapel, and then try it again through towards Stowe, and then well and truly return the favour to Kingsley after he absolutely stormed right up to the back of the Mercedes and then just said, right, I'm going past, and into P2 went the Red Bull. DRS open out of Chapel for KJ. Kingsley goes to the left, now might go to the right very late to Dean. His one defensive manoeuvre. He's not going to go to the right. Down the inside goes KJ Gamer. Oh, getting contact between the two. Around goes KJ. And for the second time this weekend, KJ Gamer once again proves that Stowe is his worst nemesis. KJ down to fourth. Callum G up to third. Disaster.
Yeah, not sure who to blame there. Obviously, you can take Kingsley's argument of saying that he had the line, he had the correct racing line, or you could say that he should have thought more about defending wisely or submitting the corner and getting back the position later. Who knows, we'll have to, obviously that might go part to the stewards at the end of the race, but for now Kingsley holds second place, and that's put KJ all the way down in fourth. He's not going to be very happy at all. Doesn't look like to have much damage too badly, but he is going to have to try and recover and catch back up to Callum and eventually Kingsley if he can, with just 6 laps to go.
Yeah, this is very true, and now we're on board with Jolly, who now safely has a race lead. 6.8 seconds clear at the front, plus 3 seconds as well due to Kingsley's penalty, and is on his way to claiming another WXL victory to add to the catalogue that he will surely have between now and the end of the season. Pens-wise, Squidgy, because I know you're always interested in them, no penalties for Jolly, penalty for Kingsley, no penalty for Callum G, KJ has no penalties, Dasher has a penalty, Matt
just got
has 2 penalties actually now after that one. Gravity does not hold one for Joel's, and wow, 11 seconds for Artie, and Ross holds 9 himself. So currently, by the way, that means...
I was going to say there's a battle for the last final point, both runners squaring away. Adam Lee is looking to move on Ross for that final point position.
Not really too hard fought between the two, and Adam Lee now back ahead of his teammate. In actual fact, just a couple of laps ago, Adam Lee got passed by his teammate, so now Adam Lee into 10th, Ross down to 11th. But this does mean, by the way, that currently Gravity will take P6 away from Matt 212 into P6 at the moment, and currently Callum got a gain 1.6 seconds. He wants to see himself on into P2 at the moment. They're still on for P3 for Alfa Romeo. So going towards the final few laps, Tom, we've had an intense race throughout, and it's sort of mellowed out now.
Yeah, I'm starting to see everything sort of set in stone at this point. I think the Renaults are going to be the majority of the fighting for the rest of the race, of half a second between both cars. But Jolly, 7.4 seconds ahead in the lead. That's a bit of a margin. I don't see Kingsley, again with his penalty, doing much damage at all. And furthermore, Gravity getting another 3 seconds.
That is his first, actually, of the day, which is a shame, but Joel's also has one behind, so it won't actually impact him with regards to position. Still coming on for that P6 as Jolly again goes fastest, 28.6. This lad's quick. Oh, Adam Lee has got it all sorts of wrong out of Chapel there.
Very well recovered from the running driver there, coming out of Chapel. He just sort of lost the rear end of the car, trying to get into the system of Ross, his teammate, and he just got caught out slightly too much on the throttle. well recovered from the Renault driver. The two Renaults will most likely catch up to each other and continue their battling towards the end of the race. Only a few laps remain now.
Indeed they do. We're very close towards the end currently, and on lap 22 or 26. My, this Grand Prix has flown round at a rate of knots, and currently on their way to making it even further at the front for Jolly. Just to put in perspective, by the way, the current live championship standings that you will see, so Jolly will now promote himself onto 196 points. I'll promote himself up to 46 points between himself and KJ Gamer at the front of the championship, so nearly 2 race victories clear. And you begin to wonder, after what happened last season with Bacon Young, where issues happened mid-season and you began to question what was going to happen as KJ began to fly clear at the front as we continued the topsy-turvy stuff, and then towards the end it all went KJ's way, and you begin to question, is it getting too much for him to pull back, because Jolly this season just looks untouchable.
Yeah, 8.2 seconds shy of Kingsley, as said before. He's put in a lot of effort for this race, I think. But I still don't think he's pushed the car, to be honest, at all. In contrary, I think he just kept his head down. He's focused on just himself and what he can do and get out of the car. I think he knows that Kingsley and KJ and all that are going to be battling away, trying to squabble amongst each other, and that's going to let Jolly lead away a bit quicker. But again, from what I said before, if we look at everyone else's ERS compared to Jolly, it's not by much, but he still has a little bit more than Jolly. He still has a little bit more than the rest of the field, and I think this is contributing a lot to his current success, in him being able to know when to harvest this energy and when to deploy it to get further.
Yes, we're about to begin, 3 laps to go for the race. Lewis now comes round the Vale chicane for the 23rd time in this Grand Prix and really begins to hunker down. Meanwhile, KJ, by the way, despite the fact he's got more worn tyres, he's bringing that gap down ever so slightly to Callum, but it's not enough to really impact the change in the result between the two. Currently, Callum on to claim another podium, and will currently put himself on 85 points. Will jump clear of PT, who's down in 13th. And as you'll see, Gravity will go on to 86. So kind of a point between both alphas, with Gravity set to take... no, sorry, actually... Yeah, hang on, let me just work this out in my head. So 86 points for Gravity. 88 actually for Dasher. So he will go into P3 in the closely knit battle for P3. It'll be Dasher on 88 points, Gravity on 86, and Callum G on 85. Look at that. That's absolutely insane stuff, Tom. You've got 3 points between 3 drivers. And well, we've only been driving for now 10 rounds, and the P3 championship I mentioned at the start of the stream is just as hotting up as the battle at the top.
Yeah, and all season long it's been so close. Every single race there's always, one championship contender at some point in an aggressive position to do a lot of damage to the championship standings. And although not where he'd want to be as he thinks about taking a different version of the track, KJ, although he may not be able to be where he wants to be, starting 8th after having that accident at F2 and recovering to the points at P4, he's still got to congratulate KJ on that. He's pushed his car just enough to be where he can, from where he started, and I think that's what's going to keep the championship alive. Everyone's just pushing just a little bit more than you'd expect.
Well, yeah, I mean, just look at the position gain and loss chart. If you want to hear about an exciting Grand Prix, this is no less. There is only 2 drivers that are still in the position they began 25 laps ago. One of them is out of the Grand Prix. That was Eero Lantman, who started at the back and was first to retire as well, so finished 18th at the moment. And Jolly is the other one, who started on pole, and, well, is going to... Well, I believe, actually, he will have a Grand Slam weekend, because he started on pole, he has led every lap, and he's now going to do the fastest lap as well. And it's going to be a proper perfect weekend, because he took pole position in the F2 race, set fastest lap in the F2 race and won the F2 race. 6 out of 6 for this man. Could someone stop him, please?
I think over the course of these last few months, of course, crossing over from 2018 to 19, there's definitely been improvement of pace from Jolly, and I don't think there is stopping the man. 8% sorry, EOS from Kingsley. Look at the top 6. They're all battered their EOS, but Jolly has not, still managing to get 9 seconds ahead of the pack. He's on 81% now, EOS. On the final lap, he's going to give it his all, I think.
Yeah, we've got an interesting fight here at the end of the Grand Prix between Matt and Gravity. Gravity's got right back up to the Haas and now going to try and take that 8 points away to well and truly prove a point in this one at the moment. Will of course score them due to penalties nevertheless. Onto the final lap, there you go, however. We're not like the actual Formula 1, we're not going to miss on-track battles when we're trying to focus on a battle that was never going to occur at the Singapore Grand Prix. Remember that one. We're going to keep our eye on this one for P6 and see if we'll come home on track at least for the final 8 points. Well, Adam Lee again with another moment. There's actually always lost it actually at a club corner. And that's surely going to be the end of his day in terms of a points hunt. It looks like Ross will bring it home, but it might be penalties. Might inflict that. Here comes Gravity over on Matt. Matt's got to the middle of the track through towards Brooklands and now towards Luffield. He still is trying to stick to the back of him like super glue out towards Woodcote for the final time for these drivers. Matt sliding and powering the back end out really as Ross goes and gets another 3. That's 15 seconds on the Renault's head today. If Adam Lee doesn't bring him a point, I'll be stunned in this one as Matt runs wide out of Cops. But here comes Jolly towards the Vale chicane, and for the final time, it's a Grand Slam weekend and it's a further championship extension. Not a bad weekend for the Williams. He takes victory and fastest lap at the end. 28.6, 26 points. What a weekend for the Williams. And Kingsley, who started third, got the jump on Dasher, and the rest was all his. Kingsley brings home P2. Callum G brings home P3. Gravity has gone round the outside of Matt through towards the Vale chicane and passes him just about through towards the Vale. There's going to be a photo finish between these two through towards Club. Bit of contact between the two, and in the end of it, Gravity comes home 6th. Matt in the end 7th. He's done right at the checkered flag. Fair play to those two. Joels overtakes Matt due to penalties, so 7th in the end for Joels, 8th for Matt, 9th for Artie, and who will bring him the final point for Renault? We have to wait and see. It's most certainly not going to be Ross who undercuts Artie. Adam Lee might nick 2 points out of this and doesn't. He actually somehow stays the same, and Vapid Coup takes the point away from both the Renaults. Well, that's got to feel harsh for them. They're going to be hard done by him. PT will come home 13th for Toro Rosso. But the day is done, and Jolly takes the checkered flag, and what is without a doubt a highlight, surely, of his league racing career, because what a display for him, and a home victory for the Williams.
Yeah, even now his AI, he's managed to get from 8 seconds to 14 seconds. Even his AI is faster than the other AIs. I didn't even know that was possible. But what a race, I think. Good turnout, good results, good battling, and all race, to be fair. And a Grand Slam, easy as you like, victory from Jolly. Managed to get pole in F2 cars, win the F2 race, started from pole, led every lap, and has won with no penalties. Flawless strategy, flawless win. However, for me, I think KJ put on a better show, starting 8th and pushing through to 4th.
Yep, so there is your top 3. So Jolly celebrates alongside Kingsley, and Callum G brings them another podium for Alfa Romeo and adds to a catalogue of good drives for himself and as well for the Alfa Romeo team. So there's your final result for you. So KJ then finishes P4 with no penalties to his name. Dasher comes home 5th with a good drive in the enough. Starting on 2nd place, he'll feel hard done by there's only 10 points. Gravity brings home 6th and 8 points for the Alfa Romeo team. With Joels in the end, recovery drive from 10th, brought home 7th. Matt in the end started 9th and then finished 8th. Rather comfortable for him. And Artie brings home 2 points for the Racing Point team and gets them on a 6 points up into 16th in the championship. Vapid Coup finishes 10th and brings home the singular point as a reserve, of course, for McLaren. SV Ross and Adam Lee finished 11th and 12th, and LCR PT 13th. For DNFs, for Sparshot Diablo, Trolled Squidgy, and Aero Antsman at the moment. But let's bring the top 3 in, Tom, to give us their thoughts. But while we bring them in, your driver of the day, please.
KJ. KJ. As I said before, he started after having an unlucky race from the F2 and the turnout from that. I think KJ definitely gets my driver of the day purely because he did start from 8th, had a massively well-planned recovery drive. Got caught out a little bit, but from Kingsley after he got back the position initially, but still managed to get 4th at the end of that. So good result from him, I think.
Well, we have all 3 guys in, and I'm going to give my driver of the day actually to the man that, well, he brought him a perfect weekend. There's pretty much going to be a candidate anyway. I'm going to into Jolly for what is without a doubt a highlight weekend in not only WXL for this season, but also probably his league racing career, for bringing home pole position, fastest lap, and the Grand Prix win in F2, and then bringing home pole position, of course, naturally because he won the F2 race, fastest lap, led every lap, and of course took the checkered flag for Williams as well. And we have all 3 guys in, so we'll start with the man that I've just been praising for the last about 20 seconds or so, and now going to praise him even more. Jolly. First thing first, perfect weekend, championship extension. It's not a bad way to spend your home Grand Prix, really, is it?
No, all went as planned, which usually it doesn't, so yeah, everything went well. And that's what you want in a fight for a championship.
This is very true, of course, and just talking to you about the championship once again. It's another extension at the front, and is there any sort of nerves beginning to set in now as you're getting further and further away, or is it just looking more and more likely that you will take the Season 4 championship?
I always look at it one race at a time, and then if I can outscore KJ, then I'm doing my job. So just keep it a race at a time, and then hopefully by the end of the season I've won it.
Yeah, of course, and again, for yourself, just take us through, because we rode on board with you around the qualifying lap in F2. We took a lap, and you had a really bad turn 1, but you somehow ended up just shy of a second clear of the man who also joined you on the front row. Just tell me, were you expecting that at all? Because believe me, I was baffled when I saw that.
I actually weren't. I was expecting for it to be close for pole, because my first sector wasn't the best, but everyone else also struggled. Usually I take like a few corners to adapt to the F2, so I was really surprised that no one was closer.
Yeah, of course, and again, you said you take it one race at a time, so let's talk about the next weekend then. Germany, the Hockenheim Ring. Your thoughts on the German circuit? I mean, given the fact of what we've seen so far, you must be trying to expect at least another podium, if not another win.
Yeah, you've pretty much said it. Yeah, I think I've won in other leagues in that track, so I'll hope to continue it in WXL.
Yeah, this is very true, of course, and well, congratulations on the race victory, another one to add to your WXL list, and well, hope we might even see you at the same time next week for Germany as well. Jolly, there's your race winner for you. But second place moves swiftly on to a man that started from P3, got the jump on the sister team in Toro Rosso, and then from there it was quite a comfortable drive. Kingsley, a great 18 points for you in your championship bid as you've looked to try and boost yourself up towards the front guys in this championship battle. Just take us through it, because it was quite a quiet day, all things considering, other than the incident with KJ.
Yeah, I do apologise for the incident with KJ. I thought I left him enough room, but a little tap and it sent him on a spin. Not the greatest race whatsoever. Got a few problems with the car, with no DRS, so I lost Jolly. Probably going to lose him anyway by pace, but I did lose him a lot quicker than I expected after losing DRS on my car. That didn't help. Made a couple of mistakes with getting a penalty, and also had a daddy long legs fly into my face, which made me nearly spin at first corner.
Oh. Yeah, that's not ideal at all. Yeah, that's not going to help you in the slightest. But championship for yourself. 18 points today. You promote yourself into 8th place ahead of your good friend Pred. Between you two at the moment. But as the championship progresses, you've not really had a pretty rocky start. But come the end of it, what's your overall target once we reach Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, win.
Yeah, win. I like it.
Simple enough.
Yeah, I like that. No, I like the simplicity of it. Some people say, "Oh, I like to be P5 if possible." You know, just right straight, want to win, love it. And well, I suppose for you next week, the German Grand Prix, Hockenheimring. Your thoughts on the German circuit? Possibility of seeing you up here again, and maybe claiming that first victory.
Sorry, my mic cut out.
That's fine. I was just going to say the German Grand Prix circuit next week. Your thoughts on the circuit? Back up here again potentially.
I do love the circuit, and I feel like I've got good pace at it. Yeah, I feel like I've got a good chance.
Yeah, of course. And well, you know, congratulations on the 18 points. Fantastic P2 for you here today. That was Kingsley, your second place man. And finally, move on to the Scotsman that brought home yet another podium for the season. Callum G, first things first, my friend, a phenomenal drive from you, but you really had to get your elbows out in them first few laps.
Yeah, it was all a bit mad actually, just at the midfield though. But yeah, it was a mad first few laps, and then I managed, I think, if I can't really remember, it was on the Toro Rosso, I think it was Dasher. He was a bit slow, so I managed to get by him. And then I think it was KG coming back through the pack. And then I tried to get ahead of him before KG came behind me, so then they lost a bit of time battling. And then KG overtook me, so I just tried to stay with KG's DRS until the pit stops. And then obviously he just did some mad undercut, which gained him like 6 seconds in the pit stops, which was a bit mad. And then obviously he had a bit of an incident, and then just a bit lucky, and then to come home in P3.
Oh yeah, of course, you know, and again, 15 points, and that's a brilliant battle going on between yourself and Toro Rosso for that P3 between Petey, Dasher, your teammate as well. You know, there's now only 3 points between Dasher, yourself, and Gravity. And you know, you must be continuing as the rounds go on. You must be thinking, all I need is one good result and I'll get away from these guys. But you know, it just doesn't seem to keep happening because everyone seems to finish so close to each other.
Yeah, it's a bit mad. I've not really raced much at the start of the season, so I had to do quite a lot of catch up, so I'm glad I'm kind of with them now. So yeah, it'll be a good battle now from now to the end of the season.
Yeah, it's what we're looking forward to most definitely as the championship at the front begins to get a bit boring, let's just put it that way. But well, final question for you. You know, the Hockenheim circuit, the Germany next week, your thoughts on the German Grand Prix, possibility of another podium?
I'll need to see, to be fair. I've had 3 podiums in a row, but I probably wouldn't have predicted any of them, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. I've not really drove Germany yet, so we'll need to see how that one goes.
Oh yes, most definitely. Well, congratulations on P3. That was F1 Gravity, the Alfa Romeo driver, bringing home 15 points.
It wasn't Gravity.
Championship bid. No, why did I say Gravity? Callum G, sorry. I'm glad someone pointed that out because I look like a right mug. Anyway, from myself and from Tom, that will conclude that before I make any more mistakes. But as per usual, thank you guys so much as the support. It's been absolutely superb on this stream, and we'll see you same time, same place next week for the Hockenheimring deep in the Rhineland of Germany. Thank you guys again, and goodbye.